So what's going on, guys? It's Ghosty here, and so hopefully I'm getting this video up either the day before or have it scheduled to go up on my birthday, or if not. But tomorrow will be my 21st birthday. And this isn't gonna be one of those videos where I'm just like planning everything out, kind of. Oh, this is where shit. Yeah, I'm gonna. This is one of those videos where I'm gonna just kind of just hit record and just let the recording ride. Which is probably a bad idea because I'm probably gonna be stuttering and probably repeating points all over again. But yeah, I thought I would just pretty much just kind of talk to you guys for a little bit, kind of just out in the blue. Um, so yeah, I'm turning 21 tomorrow, and by no means do I know anything about life at all. Um, and I'm not saying that that's been a bad thing. Um, I have learned many lessons. Even like through the past 5 years, I've learned a lot of lessons, which I'm carrying. So it's not like it's like I guess bad. Um, I just I don't know. When it gets around my birthday, right, every year around my birthday, it kind of gets a little rough because I think back over the year, which it doesn't seem that very long. You're like, whoa. It was almost yesterday. I was, just turning 20, which was pretty much a year ago. I was, funny enough, a year ago, in this same room, at around this time, playing VR chat, because I had recently just been broken up with. Um, and I was just trying to deal with that. And not only was I 19 finna go into my 20s, that was already something that I was dreading because I was like, man, I don't want to leave my teens yet. But now I'm turning 21, and the idea of still not being in my teens anymore is still a little bit rough. But I'm also trying to understand and definitely try to comprehend that I'm young, you know. But I did think that I would kind of go through like a little bit of the things that I've kind of learned through, you know, even this past year alone, and kind of share it with you guys and see kind of maybe it's maybe something that you need to hear, maybe something, or who knows, maybe I'm in the background, maybe you're like making supper or you're just waiting for your next bus or something like that to go on and you just want to hear me ramble for a while or just at least have me something going on. I think one of the main thing I've learned, especially in my near, present, is that time will do odd things. Like, um, I look back on the things that I was tripping about when I was like, like 15 or 16. Um, I look back and I'm like, dude, that was so dumb or whatever. But it's a reflection of time that did that because it's like you've grown and time kept going on and you kind of just kind of roll with the punches or whatever situation and you kind of got on with it. Time, yeah, time will do weird things, but time will also do like things that you need to happen in your life. That makes sense, you know. Time has a weird way of making things. How would I say? Time has a weird way of making things go together like a puzzle. Whether it be closure on something, maybe maybe something you were stressing about. You finally got answers to, or you maybe a relationship. Maybe that one person that you really cared for, and they decided that it was no longer their their time to be with you for whatever reason. Time will either show you, hey, it was okay. It happened. We can keep moving on. Or sometimes it'll show you different ways about how things go. Or maybe time will show you yourself. I mean, like, even personally in my life, like, the time, I will say a year ago when I started my job, to now almost a year into my job, it's almost like seeing two completely different people. Um, I went to my current job one person, but now that I've done a lot more reflecting since I started. I'm very very different. I do apologize about that. That was anyway. So yeah. I don't know why I just decided to insert text me video. Anyway, sorry. Time will just take care of everything, man. There'll show you things that you never knew you realized about. Um, and not only that, but it'll show you like I just I would say just watch and observe, man. Just watching and observing in itself will show you so much about it within time and how it goes. It's so crazy. I'd say the second thing is about life is a lot of people, and especially in some people in our personal monologues, we believe that we are completely right or we are completely wrong, or this other person is completely wrong, or this other person is completely right, or this other person is completely wrong. And I think I don't know. I don't know exactly where that chimes in at, and it's probably due to our personal biases and our personal opinions. But the one thing that I've been trying to understand and learn and grow as a person is that sometimes, even in any conversation or debate or argument, both people can be right, both people can be wrong, both people can be half right, and both people can be half wrong. Now you be wondering, what do you mean by half wrong or half right? Well, sometimes so we say we get into an argument with somebody about something and they make a valid point, and then but you also make a valid point. But let's just say some more emotions were involved, some things were said and things were done, and maybe like a raising a voice and things kind of escalated a little bit, you know. Um, so you could be right about speaking up or speaking out against speaking your opinion, but maybe getting an attitude or escalating the situation or um, making things worse is the part of the wrong. So um, there's a half right there, there's a half wrong there. So I guess that'd become like examples of that. Not only that, but when you converse with people, when it comes to being half right and half wrong, I noticed that a lot of it has to do with just people who potentially sometimes already have a bit of a thing going on, and I have been guilty of it, where a lot of the times, and it is definitely a subject to your own environment. Pretty much anything I've learned that humans are subjects to their own environment. You can turn into this person that is just completely just rough. Like, I ain't gonna lie, it's just like just not a good person to be around, and it can all span and start from the environment that you surround yourself with. And a lot of times, a lot of people, I even, even myself at one point have surrounded myself and around a certain amount of people who have had negative impacts in all my life and how it work, how they, how they operate and stuff like that. So I guess another thing that I would say is be careful who you like hang yourself around, man, because it I have from personal experience been around people that they aren't good, like inherently. Um some of them did have good hearts in certain places, but um, that one saying, not all good people are really good people, and not all bad people are really bad people. But also, not all bad people are really good people, but also not all the whole vice versa thing. So it's just be kind of vigilant on who you kind of hang around, because the people you really hang around are the people who you'll become. And I used to not believe that, but due to certain reflections, man, it's definitely true, man. You gotta watch really careful, because especially if you're a person who's like really interested in like inner peace, and trying to promote you and as well as your peers to bring themselves up, it can be demeaning to you, and it can completely like curveball you, especially if you get stuck within certain people. And sometimes some people, will have like good intentions when going into it, and then just and just go all the way down. I probably should also premise by saying this is only 11 minutes of the video. I, I'm still learning as a human. So don't take this video as me being like a little guru, or that I know life, or that I know really anything. Um, because I really don't know anything. I convey potential advice to you that, from my personal experience, may help you out. So, again, I'm 21, so just keep an understanding that I don't know life. I haven't lived it enough to know life. However, I have lived what life I have lived. I've learned very valuable lessons, and ones that honestly I probably shouldn't have learned at the age I did, but nonetheless, we learned them. I'll say something else I would say to definitely look out for. Um, don't become complacent, man. Like, complacency is something that's like, I don't know, it's so weird. Cause like, you don't need to be complacent, because then you can fall into a trap. Um, Especially if you're someone at a job who's looking to move up, and like not able, you're obviously showing signs that you're not able to move up, or that you're showing signs that you want to move up, but they're ignoring you. Definitely, I would definitely be ready to get on down from there, get to another job, or even complacency in your personal life, in your internal life, like like don't be complacent with the person you are today, because the person that you are today may not be suitable for the person that you'll be tomorrow. And that's the one thing that I've tried to think about, because I, for a long time, there for a little bit, was stagnant. I wasn't really making any like strides to be better or anything like that. But I also understand too is that becoming a better person, you don't need to force to change, because if you force to change, it's just gonna be just you battling between yourself. Some of those changes in life you gotta understand is that those have to come gradually. Those things have to come honestly unwarranted sometimes. I will say that I have definitely worked on being a lot kinder as a person from when I was 19. I wasn't inherently a bad person, but I was definitely a rude and a very uh I had someone tell me one time that I was always on edge. Now, granted, did other factors benefit into that type of thing? Yes, but I do understand now from looking back that, yeah, I was very on edge all the time. And it was just me. I wasn't really um being a good person in general, and not only that, but the environment around me, which goes back to what I was saying earlier, wasn't good either. So it created this disgusting habit that I would do, um, which got me into a bit of trouble from a time or two. Not from like parents or anything like that, but from some friends and a significant other or an ex that I had. but yeah, and at the time, I was just that way. That was who I was, and it was mainly, but also again because of trivia factors. But I was stagnant. I see myself now growing, and I enjoy the growth process, and it's something that I think everybody should be able to embrace and be happy about, because when you're growing as a person, you can be accomplished because you can look back and be like, wow, I was this person, but now I'm not. Now I'm this person, and this really, like, I can really reflect and be like, wow, this is how far I've come. Especially me. I'm only speaking for me. Because I don't know what it was, but I just one day when I turned 20, I looked at myself and I was like, man, like, we got to get together, man. But I also gained. It was I would say it probably happened a bit right after I had been broken up with. I remember I went to Barnes and Noble, my local Barnes and Noble, and I picked up a book called the Tao Te Ching. I probably chalked that word completely up. Um, and I remember just intuitively reading, because when I was going through that breakup, it was a rough one because it was a 9 months. I was into it, and when it's comparative to like some relationships, it's maybe not as long, but it was a pretty long one that I had put a lot into. Um, but regardless, that's neither here nor there. I was reading very intuitively into it, and it sparked that initial of me wanting to change as a person. Um, and then that's when I kind of looked a little bit into Stoicism, and really got into Stoicism because I had always kind of looked into Stoicism and Buddhism, and a lot of things like that, of finding just complacency, or sorry, finding a way in not being complacent within, a lot of things. But um but also somehow be able to interact with Buddhism in that way. It's been a journey, man. Like, I remember when I fully accepted that, like, or accepted kind of like the Stoic, like, principle. It was like almost life changing. Like, I woke up every day and I was like, all right, you know what? Today sucks. Today's gonna suck because we're getting through this either way. We're gonna do this. And it's still something that I do to this day. I mean, it's definitely something that it absolutely sucks. Like, it blows. But there is some. I feel like there is some kind of achievement in it, though. Which, I guess, well, all this kind of leads me to segue to what I was saying with my next thing. I would definitely say to kind of look out for. Make sure that at the end of the day, you're trying to look out for you, and not like saying being selfish or being like too like self-centered, which sometimes in certain situations you kind of have to, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day. Put yourself first for you. um Sometimes we have to force ourselves to do things for us to get good out of it, and sometimes, again, like I was saying, like the stoicism, it sucks, but when you see that growth, it makes it all work out. It's all worth it, and it is wonderful. I don't regret doing it. But I will say, definitely reading. I never done that before when I was when before at all, until after that breakup, and depending on what book it is, especially if it's philosophy, I enjoy reading it. It's like, in fact, like, honestly, I remember I was talking the other day and I was like, man, I kind of want to pull the television back down, start reading again. Um, I now I don't do it a lot like I used to. I definitely need to pick it back up. But I remember enjoying it because it was like I was trying to understand a way of life when I was reading it. So it's definitely dope. I would say also, people. This is something that's more kind of intertwined with a few of the topics that I brought up. Sometimes in life, people have to leave you for you to realize how good of a person you really are. You know, a lot of people sometimes will be like, "Oh yeah, I left them. I'm much better off without them." Sometimes those people who are doing that, you know, they're really doing you a favor because they either gave you an opportunity now to become the absolute best person that you can be for you. Um, or you can become you can kind of instant show yourself that, hey, the treatment that I was dealt with during that situation, or maybe I was conveying to a person or a friend or whatever, you know, now I see the reason why I was acting like that, and I understand that I am better than that. So don't I would always say, just because somebody, maybe like a friend or family member or a significant other or whatever it may be, leaves you and they're all like, yeah, you know, I left them. It's all for the better though, all for the better of me. Sometimes they have to leave you for you to realize that they weren't as good, you know, as you can be, you know. And that's something I definitely had to understand as a person multiple times in my life. And it's such a weird thing because, like, I never really understand that lesson from the beginning until afterwards. It's definitely weird. I would say too, another one that I would say, that I would do it, and I've caught myself doing it a lot, and I had to stop it. And that is the code word of catching up. I didn't get my first car until I was 20. I didn't get my license until I was 19. Both of which I had to do on my own. I should have gotten my license earlier. I was just being dumb. My mindset, I was like, I don't want the government to have anything on me. I want to stay as hidden as possible. As if they don't have a, you know, like a social security card or something. I mean, it was so dumb. But I got that at 19. Did it all by myself, pretty much had to, and then got a job and got a car all by myself. That I had no one to help me. I saved up all the money there for it. I worked I worked the dog shit out of myself to get that car. And I feel like that I'm behind, you know. I feel like I am I am or well, okay. I need to rephrase myself here. I felt or I feel like I am behind because usually people will have their license at 15. No, sorry. I'm sorry, excuse me. They will have their license at 16 or their permit at 15 or they'll have their license at 18 or something like that. Well, I had to go like at 19, and then usually people when they're in high school, usually more times often not, by senior year, they will have some car to drive. I did not. I I would have pretty much been still riding the bus if it hadn't been for certain circumstances that I was in. It's definitely something that I'm battling with because again I my in my mind, and it's a new thing that I'm having to battle with. It's like I have to constantly be going. I have to constantly do. I have no, I have no time to really sit down and enjoy anything. And it's something that I'm also trying to learn how to do. That's also kind of why this slowing down the videos recently. Not because I'm being just lazy. Well, it kind is, but I'm also trying to learn to relax a little bit. Um, because I'm also having to work. I work a job, do YouTube, and then find some way to fit time with with friends and stuff like that, and all this stuff. So it's like whoa, 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 whoa. And then also recently, speaking of car, I'm having a little car issues, so I'm having to stress over that, work a little overtime over there at work to kind of get some money up to get that going and get that fixed. But I feel like I'm just taking a little time to kind of rest, to kind of just slow the paces down before I get the cogs working back full time again. Cause I mean I literally slowed down. It was like I think it was like a video like a month ago, and then there was a video like 3 weeks ago or something like that, and it was like a Sea of Thieves and a Mortal Kombat one, and I was like, okay, wait, let's kind of stagnate because I felt myself kind of getting burnt out, like I ran out of ideas and everything. I'm like, okay, let's kind of just back up for a second. Let's kind of get a regroup and regroup and go back into it. So I guess I would say, back to what I was saying, my actual previous statement about saying that I felt like I needed to catch up. Yeah, I just feel like I'm behind. But I also know that I shouldn't think that way because I feel like that is very damaging to myself, to my progress, and to my goals. Because at the end of the day, that's not good, you know. Adding extra stress. Oh, I'm sorry, extra extra stress and extra responsibility and expectations at times. It's good to have some expectations, but to have an over expectation is something that's going to just be rough on you eventually, and it's just not going to end well. I think you should just take at it as, okay, this is what I was meant to. This is what I was meant to, because we all have to go through strides in life differently. I mean, even in general. I mean, through life. I mean, not everybody gets an A on that test. Not everybody gets a B on the second test. Not everyone gets a C on the third one, and not everyone gets an A on the fourth one again. So it's just one of those things where you just have to like, uh, really just take it one day at a time, man. That's the one thing I always will say too, is like, one day at a time. Like, the amount of times I've been told that, it was just one day at a time, and then when I finally accepted that, when I finally allowed that to be like a part of my I guess my thought process, I found myself going. It eventually kind of made some wheels turn. Now, it won't hurt. It won't work immediately. I will say that it has to be like a mindset to that. Just one day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time. It's like that one saying where it's like, give me one more. You've done like 5 push-ups and you're very out of shape and you can't do it. Don't worry, give me one more. If you work 12-hour shifts and a 12-hour shift and you're dog tired, but you feel like you're about to give up and you're already got, like, let's say like 2 more hours ago. Say you work a 15-hour shift and you're about to pass out by the 14th. Give one more hour. It's just that demeanor of keep going, keep pushing, don't back down. It's just one thing that I feel like a lot of people like need to hear and have people around them to say that. Because then we get into negative thoughts like needing to catch up and maybe like self esteem issues and stuff like that pop in. But just try to keep positivity in your life and don't try to second guess yourself when it comes to certain situations, because I do that a lot and I have to work on myself not to do that and make sure that I can keep myself going, because I'll be honest with you, like, I will do just about anything I set my mind to. Like, I even if I have to rip at it with my bare hands, if I want to get something done in my life, I will pretty much go ham at it. Because I don't know, it's just something that I do. I can't explain it, but it's just like that urge to do it. It's just strong. Like, say for example, like a YouTube video. Like, if I have like a game that I want to play, or a game that I see is coming out, or another, say for like Jedi Survivor, all those Resident Evil 4 stuff like that. It was really irking me. I was like, come on, let's do it, let's do it. And I was like, it was really excited me. I don't know, it was something. I can't explain it. I don't understand it, but I just know that I enjoy doing it. Um, and I guess we're at about a good 33 minutes here. I don't want to hold you guys too long here because I know you guys have busy days and you probably have a lot more things to do than want to hear me ramble, bitch, and gripe for the whole time. I guess I know all we do definitely on my birthday is to reflect on the person you used to be, analyze the person you are today, so you can be better tomorrow. I think that's a good kind of final message. So yeah, just do that. We will never be perfect people, but if we can reflect on the bad things that we did yesterday, analyze them today, and slowly change them for tomorrow. We will be better people one day at a time. But anyway, guys, so yeah, this has been a little bit of, I guess, a little bit of a talk thing here. If you want to hear more like this, or just talking about stuff in general, let me know. I mean, I'm always open to new content. I'm always saying I'm always down to try new things, see how you guys like it. But anyways, I'm going to end this recording now. I am currently ending the recording now at 11:18 p.m. So we're getting closer to my birthday. So yeah, guys, I'll see you.